the Bengals are better off with Chad Johnson or without Chad Johnson?
The Cincinnati Bengals will be suffering a huge loss without Chad Johnson in the lineup. You talk about the chemistry he has with Carson Palmer and T.J. Houshmandzadeh. No one else can replace that. You're talking about the most productive wide receiver in the last 5 years in the NFL. So when you don't have a Chad Johnson, you lose all that production. Who's going to make it up? I don't see anyone in the NFL who can replace this guy. Cincinnati Bengals must do everything they can to make sure he's on the field and happy.
All right, we continue our countdown of the power rankings and take a closer look at the Bengals now. And to do that, we have some help. We welcome in Wayne Box-Miller, the sports director for 1230 WDBZ, The Buzz. So, Box, Marcellus Wiley says the Bengals will be worse off if they get rid of Chad Johnson. What's the feeling in Cincinnati?
Well, you know, a lot of people, Michelle, want him to go, but I really think that Chad's going to be back next year. I really kind of liken it to Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers in the sense that Kobe said, hey, I'll never play for the Lakers again. Management doesn't know what they're doing. The players around me are too inexperienced. But lo and behold, who's got the best record in the West and headed for the NBA Finals? So I hope we finish up like Kobe Bryant and the Lakers did. But I think he's going to stay.
That is a pretty good analogy. You know that Chad Johnson doesn't like that ranking of 25 on that list. So I'm curious if they are positioned in your mind better or worse than you would have thought.
I would have had them ranked a little higher. I mean, when I look at the Jets being above them and maybe a couple other teams with the Ravens losing Steve McNair and themselves getting a little longer in the tooth, and the Bears, their quarterback issues. So I don't think they're too far off, but I think the Bengals are a little bit better. But in fairness to those that do the rankings, you look at the disappointment. The defense, once again, didn't have the best year, but they were decimated by injuries, and I don't think a lot of people took that into play.
Well, this is a team that has cleaned house with a couple of guys recently, cleaning up some of the trouble, if you will. But why haven't they really tried to go out and get anybody?
Well, you know, they brought in Antoine Odom from the Tennessee Titans to help them up front, and also Ben Utek, a tight end from the Indianapolis Colts, which I think was a great addition. It's going to give the offense another dimension that previously we've not had, in the sense that we've never really utilized the tight end position. So Chris Perry has been looking good. I talked to some of the people within the organization, said he's starting to look really good. If you bring Chris Perry back, who had 51 catches a couple of years ago, you add the dimension of a tight end and Ben Utek, this offense all of a sudden goes from being a top 10 or 11 offense to maybe top 3 or 4.
Well, next year when these rankings come out, where do you expect to see the Bengals?
Honestly, you may shock a lot of people, but I expect to see them within the top 12 or 13 teams in the NFL.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know it's pretty brazen of me to say that, but once again, I'm saying that because I do believe Chad Johnson will be back. T.J. Houshmandzadeh was the co-leader in receptions this year. Carson Palmer, one of the best throwing arms. Chris Perry will be healthy. Revitalize Rudy Johnson, and it's been announced there's a commitment to reenact the run. So look for a different Bengal team. And I tell you, the two best additions for me are Coach Mike Zimmer and Coach Fitzgerald. I think those were the two best additions. All
right, Wayne Box-Miller, we appreciate your insight into the Bengals, and we'll see if they can make like Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. Thanks again.
Hey, thank you very much. Have a great day, Michelle.
You too.
All right.
Well, tomorrow on ESPN News pregame, we will continue our countdown on the NFL Power Rankings, and coming in at number 24 on that list is the Chicago Bears. That's tomorrow on ESPN News pregame.